Venom.
Welcome to CBR. The anticipated release of Venom: The Last Dance is just around the corner. On October 25th, we'll find out if any of our plot theories are right. The movie's title alone suggests that this could be the end for at least one of its central characters. If not a permanent demise, the movie will definitely revolve around some sort of goodbye between Eddie Brock and Venom. Is this the last Venom movie ever? If not, how will the character come back from such a story? Let's discuss some of the most probable theories. We already know the plot will revolve around a hunt for Venom and feature two main events: the supervillain Null coming to Earth to collect his symbiotes, and Patrick Mulligan becoming Toxin following the events of Venom: Let There Be Carnage. The movie will likely start following the research led by Dr. Payne. It's hard to tell what the movie's Dr. Payne will be like. In the comics, there's a male Dr. Payne in Spider-Man spin-off series featuring Morbius and Venom from the 1990s. An antagonist to Eddie Brock, Payne is a doctor with no tactile sensation in his body who is obsessed with studying medical anomalies like Morbius and Venom. Juno Temple's version of the character in Venom: The Last Dance, from the gender swap to the Y for an I in her name, seems to be a very different take. She's apparently the top scientist at the movie's version of Area 51, a real-life military location in the Nevada desert rumored to be where the government keeps and studies aliens and conspiracy theories. The film's conflicts will partially revolve around Dr. Payne's operations, which seem to be linked to the military's pursuit of Venom. This leaves Venom facing threats from both humans and Null's army of symbiote-hunting xenophages. At the same time, the attacks from xenophages and dangerous symbiotes on Earth will most likely affect the scientists and the military forces as well. From the trailer, it seems like it could be a three-sided war between the military, Null, and Venom. When it comes to Null, it looks like he is trapped in the Abyss but plotting his return to glory. He could be either planning to leave or to bring all symbiotes back to the Abyss. Though Null himself may not arrive on Earth or even have much screen time, his influence will certainly be felt. He could only send his xenophages to retrieve Venom and other symbiotes, leading to a major battle on Earth without being present. Eddie and Venom may even face a separation during Dr. Payne's experiments, with Venom being taken alone into the Abyss by Null at a later point in the movie. By retrieving the power over some of his symbiotes he had previously lost, the supervillain is able to remote control them and even be harmed through the hive mind he shares with them. As the God of Darkness, he may refuse to come and fight his creations himself or simply don't need to. He could be pulling the strings from behind the scenes, interfering with what happens on Earth while he becomes even stronger in the safety of his home planet. However, the movie could also adapt a combination of the Venom Rex storyline and key points of the King in Black event. In this theory, Null has been imprisoned for eons and is finally able to escape his confinement in the Abyss. Arriving on Earth, Null could lead an army of shadow creatures and plunge the planet into total darkness in order to regain control over all his symbiotes. That would definitely be an epic moment. Eddie and Venom could be separated in Dr. Payne's lab and find their way back to each other early on, only to have Null separate them again and leave Eddie to die in the climax. Soon, we'll get to what would happen if Tom Hardy's Eddie was killed off the franchise. One lingering question around the supervillain is why Null would come for Venom now. It's possible that Venom's brief travel across the multiverse, as seen in Spider-Man: No Way Home, may have inadvertently signaled Null to Venom's location. Another point of curiosity is whether the piece of Venom left behind in the MCU will have any significant impact. In the trailer, it appears that Chiwetel Ejiofor could be playing a version of Orwell Taylor, who finds a piece of Venom in what may or may not be the same bar from Spider-Man: No Way Home. Orwell Taylor is one of Eddie Brock's enemies from the comics. He's a United States general who wants revenge against Venom for killing his son. This character may have captured the fragment of Venom that crossed into the MCU. But as many fans are pointing out, the bar scene seen in the trailer may also be set in the Sony universe, since a few background elements look different. Either way, it's clear the movie will show an effort from both people on Earth and Venom's creator to get every part of him contained. But will they succeed? We think the third Venom movie will circle back to the idea of Venom's missing pieces to give the audience an open-ended situation. Another intriguing point of discussion is whether Toxin will team up with Venom against Null. In the comics, Toxin has been depicted as both a villain and a hero. Given the larger threat posed by Null, we could see a temporary alliance form between the two symbiotes, especially as they are targets for both military forces and Null's deadly xenophages. So, the overall premise of Venom: The Last Dance seems to be that the last dance in question is Eddie and Venom's last big adventure together. They will be forced into a cat-and-mouse game with their enemies trying to track them down, imprison them, separate them, or even eat their brains, in the case of xenophages. The end result will be a permanent separation between Eddie and Venom. Eddie could die fighting Null, with Venom surviving the showdown and finding his way through the multiverse back to the sacred timeline. If Venom left a fragment of himself in the bar there and then also in Sony's universe when he traveled back, the fragment in the MCU may not have been captured and will attract the symbiote back there. This outcome would fit seamlessly with a black suit Spider-Man storyline in Spider-Man 4, for example. We've seen Venom has an interest in Peter Parker by the way he licked the television in their hotel room, so Venom could try to bond with Spider-Man. Another theory for a Spider-Man 4 connection is Venom finding a new MCU Eddie Brock, played by another actor, and temporarily bonding with him in hopes of finding a match. In contrast, another possibility is Venom being trapped in the abyss by Null while Eddie Brock is left alone on Earth. If Marvel Studios has any plans at all for that symbiote fragment floating around, it could be to somehow get Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock to cross over again, perhaps looking for the last piece of his friend. There is no way of knowing if this will be the last movie of the Venom franchise or the last time we'll see either Eddie Brock or the symbiote. The most likely scenario is having Eddie and Venom be separated in what would seem like a permanent way, yet have an open ending that allows for a reunion or at least for one of them to be a part of other projects. In conclusion, the most probable theory is that the story will bring closure to the storyline built since the first Venom movie. It will feature the peak of the symbiosis between the protagonists, a point in which Eddie and Venom act as one more than ever. The excitement of Venom reaching the highest levels of his abilities will be matched with the shock of their separation, apparently permanent. It won't set up a sequel, being a satisfying ending to the Venom trilogy. Yet the movie will have a final or post-credits scene in which it's confirmed that either Venom or Eddie Brock or both are alive. Whatever direction Venom: The Last Dance takes, one thing is certain. The stakes have never been higher for Venom. What are your expectations for the movie? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, thanks for watching CBR.